Hello.
What's up, Maurice? How's it going?
I'm good. I just came back from ROTC work, so
Oh,
they
nice.
pushed it a little bit on the time, so I'm in my undershirt for my uniform.
All good, all good. Okay, so currently we are live on YouTube. Just want to let y'all know that. I know it says in the Zoom call that we are live, but if you, actually, I can send y'all the link. So if you all go to this link I'm about to send you, you'll be able to see yourself on YouTube right now. But yeah, so I think I've got 7 open right now. We're gonna wait probably about 10 minutes past the start time to let people get a chance to join the stream and or the Zoom call. So we can sit tight for a second. But thanks for being early. And do you guys all have the initial moderation questions that I sent? Solid. Cool, cool, cool. Appreciate it. Wait, Chance, did you join twice or is it a different Chance?
That was my phone by accident. My bad.
Okay, my bad. So it's about 7:22. I guess go ahead and get started introducing everybody because since this event is live streams, anyone joining can come play it back and do all of that good stuff. And the only other thing I want to do is I'm going to be recording this onto my computer as well. starting now, just so that if we want to go back and edit the video and post it anywhere, I'll inform you all about that. But, oh, okay. Sorry about that. Looking at two different screens. But I'd like to get started. So my name is Tyler Sledge. I am the current president of the Gamma Iota Gamma chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. And this is our Sigma Week 2020, where the theme is represents. We have chosen this theme because we'd like to find ways that are creative and informative to represent the Black community in a positive light. And with today's events, we have chosen a few different student entrepreneurs from on campus to show us, what Mercer students actually do outside of their classes. Because as much as we all like to just study and stay in our rooms, there's more to life than just that. So to start, not to shout myself out too much, I am a freelance DJ. I've been DJing for about 2 years, and I started my journey during my junior year of undergrad. And I'd like everybody else to introduce themselves, starting with Chance.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Chance Allen. I'm a junior journalism and media studies double major, film minor, and I have a photography business, more so portrait photography, but anything creative in the realm of photography, film, videography, somewhat, I'm not that good yet, but definitely photography. That's my go-to, so that's me.
Nice, nice. And Zaria, want to tell them a little bit about Not Limited?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Hello, everybody. My name is Zaria Brown. I'm a sophomore here at Mercer. So yeah, I have a clothing brand. It's called Not Limited. The mission vision for the brand is to just inspire and encourage people or young people especially, to never limit themselves or their opportunities for success, and use their creativity to have a form of income and just do their passion. So that's what Not Limited is.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Maurice, would you like to tell them a little bit about your side hustle / work for Quadworks / all of that video editing stuff I see you doing on campus?
Yeah, so when I'm not in Army ROTC mode, I'm usually behind a camera doing some video production. I do it for the Mercer University Battalion, as well as different clients like Tyler's fraternity as well. And then some other sororities on campus like Alpha Gam. And I also create newsletters and sometimes dabble in a little bit of photography.
That's awesome. That's really great to hear. And with all of our student entrepreneurs, you'll be able to find their information in our Instagram at Mercer Sigmas. And we also have a professional joining us today. We have Miss Stephanie Howard from the Mercer Innovation Center. Care to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey, I am Stephanie Howard. I am director of the Mercer Innovation Center, which is our space for aspiring entrepreneurs on Mercer's campus. I'm also a marketing professor in the Stephen Hatcher School of Business, and I also am a marketing consultant. I was a consultant for myself before I came to Mercer.
Nice, nice. Well, so for tonight, we have quite a bit of questions prepared for our panelists, so we're just gonna get straight to it. And the first question we have on our panel, or for our panelists, is what made you decide to pursue your side business? And anyone can go first, and if no one picks, I'll call on you.
I'll go first. So for me, I've always been creative, always been into artistic things, whether that's making music or visual arts or fashion. And so I knew that I wanted to do something that I enjoyed doing, but also could be a way for me to make money as well. So that's what kind of got me into starting this business. I knew I always wanted to have my own business, and fashion just happened to be the first option, just because, like I said, I am into creative things like that, and it's something that I know that I can be successful in.
That's great to hear. I know Zari actually hit me up earlier this year to ask about, what all goes into DJing, because she is actually, I think she's been in music longer than I've been a DJ, so I'm pretty sure that her experience is going to uh, quickly outlap my 2 years as a DJ. But Stephanie, I think you want to go.
I'll go next. I'm old compared to y'all, so I was very burned out. My congratulations for finishing graduate school was getting fired by the CEO 2 days later. And the thought of working in corporate America that next year, I just couldn't do it. And I had worked for several companies at that point in time. Gosh, it was probably 15 years in my career. And I made a lot of money for other people. And I knew that I could make enough to sustain my lifestyle. But I just couldn't imagine going back to work at that point in my career immediately. So I just started to use my skills for myself.
Awesome. Chance, I know I've seen you, doing a lot with your photography and now music video creation.
Oh yeah. So I initially didn't really plan to have like a business in regard to photography. It was more so just a hobby of mine that I did in my free time, whether that was just like going out and taking pictures or just bringing my camera to like an event and taking pictures there. I had been doing it since my junior year of high school, so of course it's been a very long time. But it wasn't until recently that I would like post the stuff that I would take pictures of, and then people would ask me to take pictures of them or come to this event and take pictures for them, or I would be in like a club or something or an organization and I'd just wind up taking pictures while I'm there at the events that they put on. And so from there, it just kind of became a more regular thing. And I haven't nailed every piece together down yet for myself, but it mainly started just from people asking me. That's really all it was. So, and it's transitioned to many things, as you said, Tyler, with helping with the music video. But yeah, that's how I got started.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember, I think a couple years ago, I saw on your Instagram, you would just take pictures with your iPhone or whatever camera you had. And I was like, these are like professional grade pictures. How did you take these? Because every time I take a picture, it always turns out really bad. But I don't do that. And Maurice, did you answer the question as well, or did you want to answer?
Not yet. Yeah, I want to answer.
Okay.
So I first started out not looking to make videos for anyone, but I came to Mercer and I was trying to find some information about it. And I remember watching Blossom the Creativist. She was a student here at Mercer a few years ago. She graduated, and so I thought I could make my little 2 cents on Mercer and a little dorm experience and stuff. So I started making videos. They were a little interesting. I look back on them and see how far I progressed, but yeah, and then progressed into me going, oh man, RCC need a newsletter? I can make that. I have Adobe. So I just venture out and start making new things and then meet new people. So started working with AlphaGam and other organizations and started building other people's projects. And that's where I got really interested in putting my creative touch on projects for other people.
Nice. Kind of just got swept into it, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the case with a lot of people. I know you and Chance definitely had similar experiences with that. I guess for me, it really wasn't anything that anyone asked me to do. My first experience, like actually thinking about being a DJ, was kind of. So how many of y'all went to Bearstock either last year or like within the last couple of years? Because I've only actually been like one time. And that was my freshman year. And I don't know if you guys listen to him. His name is Gazo, or DJ Gazo, on Spotify. He's a pretty popular EDM DJ. But the thing that I didn't really understand or didn't like at the time was that since he was an electric dance music DJ, his style of like music mixing was a lot different than what I'm used to, like hip hop and R&B. So he would play like maybe 2 seconds of like a song I liked and then switch it. And I was like, okay, I'm not having a good time. I need to leave. And I think I said to myself, I could probably do like way better than that. And I don't know, I guess from there, I looked on YouTube and looked up, you know, what do DJs actually do? And after one of my jobs in the summer, I saved up and I got my first controller. I actually have it right here. Hold up. But yeah. And our next question comes in with what are a few pros and cons of being your own boss? I guess right now, let's start with the pros. So what's your favorite part about being your own boss?
I'll go first on this one. So I love, I can work on my own time when I want to, and if I don't want to work, I can. I don't have to. If I don't want to do something, I can easily say no. So I do enjoy that a lot. I don't have to I don't have someone pressuring me to do a bunch of stuff and deadlines, all that stuff. It's just at my own pace. And it's all up to my liberty. It's my own freedom, how I take the pictures and everything. So it's just like, I have lots of space. I have ample space to do what I want to do, essentially.
That's definitely good. Having that creative freedom and that free reign to do what you want is definitely really nice.
Biggest thing for me, a pro, is you're able to be your authentic self all the time. When you work for yourself, you know, when you work for someone else, there's always some sort of conformity. I mean, even if you are, you know, embraced as an employee, you're still representing someone else's brand. And with that comes, you know, some requirement to conform in some sort of way. So just being able to be whatever your authentic self is a big pro, and definitely the flexibility in deciding how hard you're going to work, when you're going to work, when you're not going to work.
Yes, so I'll go next. I definitely agree. I think that just like Miss Howard said, like your drive and like when you're gonna work, I'm a very like driven person. I like to get things done. When I have something on my mind, I'm like, I gotta do it. And if I wasn't my own boss, then I wouldn't have control of that, control of when I can get things done and do them. And then also creative control. So I have like so many ideas and things I want to do, and I do have the ability to do it because it's all up to me basically. So I'd say that's a pro for me.
Yeah, I agree with that a lot. So for me, one of the things I like is that if I find something really interesting that I see that I kind of want to emulate or make my own twist, I can feel free to go out and not go out to fail, but I feel comfortable failing at it if it doesn't go that well, because it's really just me who's responsible. It's only really affecting me. And so I like the freedom to really go out there and push the bounds of what I can do without having like pressure of meeting some kind of goal from a boss or something like that.
Right. And I think the thing for me, and I think this is true with all of you, your goal is to be able to impress yourself. I feel since you're your own boss, you're the person you want to impress the most. So I definitely get where you're coming from. But what don't you like about being your own boss? What are some things that really annoy you, or maybe you didn't really realize before you started, you know, pursuing your side business or your side hustle that are kind of weird?
I'd say a con for me would be the fact that yes, you do have like creative control, but that doesn't necessarily mean somebody that you might want to work with will have the same level of like a dedication. So for me, like being in clothing, I have all these ideas and things I want to do, and I'll reach out to certain businesses to try to bring my vision to life. And some that can be difficult. That can be very challenging sometimes if they can't see the vision or if they just don't believe in it. So I think that is probably a con for me for and being an entrepreneur.
For me, I was growing up people bills, and so I really had to have income coming in. And even beyond that, there's a lot of things that entrepreneurs take for granted that working for someone else provides that takes time to get to. Being able to give yourself benefits. Very rarely can you do that right away. For years, I didn't have health insurance and just hope nothing happened. I could not afford to go at all. Even to the ER, couldn't afford to go. And it takes time to be able to give yourself a benefits package. You have money coming in, but that's all you have. And so the stability that is provided in working for someone else, that's all on you. And I think it's a good experience for people to have, working for yourself, and seeing what it really takes, what your current employer is really paying for. Most people have no clue about what their businesses that they're working for are really having to pay to compensate them. It wasn't until I had to pay the full cost for health insurance that I realized the $300 that I was paying was like 20% of what the company was paying, and that it really was a couple $1,000s a month. I was like, oh, okay. So that's the con. It can be stressful when you have to really figure out, how do I live on what I bring
in? For me, I'd say some cons. Just, it can be a lot sometimes, trying to like comprise like all the photos that you do take within like one session, because you do press the shutter a lot, and it's literally like, it could be like thousands of photos to hundreds of thousands, even more. And you have to like sift through that, and it's really nitty gritty to get the best ones out of like an amassment of just photos. So it's difficult in that sense, and that can be time consuming. So, but the good thing about it is the more you do it, the easier it gets. So it's not as bad for me anymore. And then the other thing is just like, I know for myself, I have a certain way that I go about taking pictures, and my process is different from every other photographer, and that's what makes everybody different in their own sense. But then it can be hard when, I guess that's a customer or the person that wants their photo taken, or they want the photos of the event, they're looking for one specific thing, and you can't match up to that because it doesn't align, essentially. So like, I know for a fact that I just specialize in portraits because I'm just better at that, and I take more of those on a daily basis than maybe like a group photo or photos for events. So it's hard for me in some senses when I get asked to take like event photos or group photos, just because I don't have as much experience in that, and so I don't want to like rip them off or like give them bad content. So it can be difficult, just kind of like similar to what Zaria said, like aligning the vision, essentially. I think those two things can be the cons when it comes to having a photography business.
Yeah, I feel the same way, especially with videography. It's kind of in the same boat of you have to do something new to be, I guess, good at it, to be able to build yourself in that area. So it's always interesting doing that with a client, because you don't want to disappoint both you and them together. So it's really hard to manage that sometimes. And another big thing is, especially for videos, I'm learning almost all the time, just on YouTube all the time. How do I do this in Premiere? How do I do this in After Effects? Still, I'm trying to grasp After Effects. And it's that you have to manage it from the start, from planning the video to planning times, all the way to shooting and then post-production. So you have to be kind of versed in every bit of what you're doing. So you have to be kind of a subject matter expert in every single stage of whatever service you're providing.
Wow. So I definitely don't do like video or take photos or any type of content creation like that. So I think my process is a little bit shorter. I think for me, one of the things that I really dislike, or I guess I didn't realize, is usually when I'm preparing for some of my events, I completely miscalculate how long it actually takes me to get music for those events. I think a general rule of thumb that I've seen with other popular DJs is that they get about 3 times the length of the event in music for the actual event, because realistically, you're only going to play about 30 seconds of any given song, unless you're playing wobble, and people usually want to hear the whole thing, but that's about the only exception. So that sounds good up until I actually have to like go research and do it. And usually that requires me to like kind of research the audience and see what they might potentially want, because a song that I'm rocking with a lot, or a particular artist that I like a lot, they definitely might not even consider it or even like it. And I feel like as an entrepreneur, you have to kind of predict what your client may want, because they don't always really openly say what they actually want from you. And that's pretty annoying, because I can't read minds. I got to read your mind for you. I can't, that gets really annoying really quickly. So that, coupled with the fact that it might take me anywhere from like 6 to 12 to 14 hours to get music for an event, definitely takes a lot of work and gets pretty time consuming. It's really fun when I'm listening to like all like 14 hours worth of music, but I'm also a student first, so I'm pretty sure y'all know how that goes. But I think our next question actually goes off of that. What has been the most difficult part about running your own business? I know we talked about the cons, but what has been particularly difficult for you when running your business?
For me, in the beginning, was the isolation. You know, being an entrepreneur can be very lonely at times. You know, you have this flexible schedule, but you know, when your peers or your friends don't have that schedule, you find yourself oftentimes very isolated. Especially creatives, right? You have thousands of photos to look through and you're by yourself editing. So that can be difficult at times. If you're working from home, right, you don't have the type of business where you have to interact with other people. You can find yourself going days, weeks sometimes, and not interacting with another human being. And that can wear on you a lot, especially if you're an extrovert like myself. Being isolated was something I had to adjust, or I had to figure out how I still could have coworkers, even though I was working for myself. That was difficult in the beginning.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. You can go ahead. You can go ahead. You got it.
I was just gonna say, I think for me, it's like staying up to date with, again, referring back to like the last question, with the multitude of photos that I come across on the daily. So like, I know one thing really right now that I'm trying to do is like update my website. And it's been like a few weeks since I took it off my social media, and I still have yet to finish it. With all the new photos that I've taken like this year and like throughout the summer and whatnot, and just kind of make it better and up to speed with what I'm trying to do for myself now and for the future. So that's been pretty hard because it is, again, time consuming. But I think the other difficult things to just be, like I said earlier, just going through all the photos and, you know, like trying to be timely with everything that I do within that, editing and sending it back to them and taking the photos too. So.
I'd say for me, definitely agree with Chance about time. So finding people for me to bring like my vision to life in the most time and cost effective way possible. Just like I had plans for releasing certain items and products, and it's just like I underestimated how much time the process it would take to, okay, I reach out to somebody, try to formulate a relationship, and this is what I need from them and stuff. And like I said, if I'm on a certain, like, I'm like, this is everything to me, so I'm trying to get it done fast. And with them, they may have several other orders to fulfill and things of that nature. So I think just bringing, because I have so many ideas of things that I would love to do, and I have it, but it's like, okay, you have to actually bring this into fruition, and in order to like have something to sell and make money. So I think just focusing on one thing at a time and bringing everything to life in a timely and cost-effective way.
So for me, also time has been a pretty difficult thing to manage, being a student and then also a senior in ROTC. I'm also tasked with developing the underclassmen into becoming proficient lieutenants. And I've really had to start pulling away from different organizations, whether it be QuadWorks or some other student organizations that I'm trying to take a part in, because if I'm not driving the business forward, nothing's really happening. So I'm not really expanding myself. So I don't have the ability really to, how I love an ROTC, I just give a little bit of guidance and then they'll go out and do it, give them a little more guidance, pushing in the right direction. But for being an entrepreneur, it's really you setting it yourself, and you have to carry that through and find the time to do those things.
And I'd also like to add to that as well. Definitely, I think the time aspect is the most difficult, because honestly, with any event, you're kind of putting all of your creative power into it, whether you realize it or not. And, sometimes I don't realize when I stay up the entire night planning for an event, and then I'm like, oh, crap. This party goes until 3 a.m. So I have to be up for like the next 27 hours. Perfect. I know that's specific for me, but definitely trying to time how long it takes to, I don't know, reach out to promoters, get music, record, re-record, practice. It definitely takes a humongous chunk out of every day. And I'm still a student right now, but I feel like if I was, this was like my only method of income, it would definitely be a lot different. And I definitely see how, Ms. Howard, you mentioned that you felt really lonely being an entrepreneur. And, I feel like it would become your full-time job almost if you were using your side hustle as your main source of income. And I definitely see how you could quickly lose yourself inside of your creativity and your passion without even realizing it. So it definitely can be hard. But on a lighter note, so I know you all have your active businesses. Where do you think you'll be in about 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years? I know it might be kind of like far out to view because you just got started, but I want to know your thoughts on that.
Well, okay, I'll go first. So for me, I personally do not plan on, not limited, staying a small business or a side hustle. Like, I really do want to like expand and grow this. So I'd say I see my business being one of the top streetwear brands. I think like fashion is like always evolving and things of that nature, and there's a lot of talent, but I believe in my brand and my vision. And so, yeah, I definitely see it being a top brand, not only for how it looks and, the types of clothes, but more so for the message as well. Because my clothing, I want it to look good, but also share positive messages. And so that you're wearing clothing that makes you feel good, and it can just, it's meaningful as well, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, definitely see myself, this business being a top streetwear brand within 15 years from now.
That's a lofty goal, but you got to speak into reality.
I'm telling you, the years will fly by. So just keep at it. I'd probably start another company of some sort. that's not service-based. And I definitely want to figure out more passive forms of income. I'm looking toward retirement, hopefully by that realm. And so, figuring out, what are some, passive income or low input businesses where you can still reap, financial benefit, but not have to be so labor intensive.
For me, there you go. I think for me, I don't know. It's kind of here or there, just because of the field I'm in. I'll probably still be doing photography in some regard, but I think whatever I end up doing, I'll be doing it honestly, like probably on a smaller capacity than I am now. I don't know exactly what I want to do yet as a like a I don't know what literal job that I want to do in the future, but just because of my field being in journalism and media, I'd be doing it in some capacity, but I think I'd be doing other things to the point where like this may have to decrease just a little bit, but it literally still be like just a side hustle. If again, like if people needed me to do it. So for myself, somewhat potentially less. I do enjoy photography and taking portraits, but I think it'd be less or at the same pace as it is now, essentially.
So for me, I find it slightly difficult to, in the future, give my full self to this business because I'll be commissioning in the Army this May, and I'll be active duty on a 4-year contract for that. And so I personally understand that if I commission, I'll most likely be a platoon leader. So I'll be managing like 30 to 40 men and women who could range from 17-year-old Private Joe out of high school to someone that's like 30 has been already in the Army for 15 years, which is a strange thing for me to be leading them as a fresh person out of college. But I do understand that in the Army, it's almost impossible to do too much. So really giving my all to being a lieutenant is really going to draw away from my business. But I hope that in my free time, I'm going to be able to keep developing my videography skills and really be able to master, in a sense, production of videos from the start to finish, so that if I do have the chance in the Army to transfer branches to public affairs, which would be more related to video production and marketing, that I can start building those skills so that if I choose to leave the Army, I can pursue this as a business and still keep learning while I'm in the Army and not able to full-time dedicate to it.
Sorry, I had to yawn. But Maurice, going off of what you said, I definitely see how, like, with your main task of being, you said a platoon leader.
Yeah, I'll be a soldier in the Army. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even sure like how that works. I know I've seen on TikTok a bunch of people having like posting videos, but I'm not sure like what the requirements or restrictions are when it comes to social media and all that.
As long as you're not political or unprofessional, you should be fine.
Ooh, some people in
But
trouble.
yeah, let's not do TikTok dances. I don't know if that'd be quite professional for a lieutenant or captain to be doing some Fortnite dances on the internet.
Dang, that's crazy. I guess for me, and similar to Chance, this definitely might just stay a side hustle for me. But I don't want it to like just limit it to just side hustle. Like, yes, I'll be able to, DJ if you ask me to. This semester I've been like strictly inactive just so I can focus on school. But I think in the future, I mean, I'll be able to DJ for weddings and all that whenever people ask. I know last Christmas, actually, I was able to DJ for my mom's book club because they had a Christmas party. So I feel like definitely I'll be able to, network with my family and network with all of my associates who I've met through college. But I guess the bigger dreams that I did have with DJing long term was to be able to travel around the world and potentially, I don't know, do like tours as a DJ. Because I've slowly been getting. Oh, I've slowly been getting into like the music production side of things, and I've definitely seen how like that. Well, obviously how it relates to being a DJ, because the two are kind of intertwined, but they're different. They're definitely different specialties. And one of my pro fights, I'm sure you remember him, DJ Saturn or Chris. He was telling me that he definitely wants to be able to travel to different cities and DJ for clubs and large venues, and I guess, that would be pretty fun. I think as an individual, I have quite a lot of energy usually. And I try to throw that onto my audience whenever I can. And I think one of the biggest examples I've seen that would be really cool to do that is I saw Metro Boomin perform at EDC maybe like a couple years ago, which I originally thought was only for like EDM DJs, but here he is, a whole hip hop DJ performing for like, I don't know, 50,000 people. And it seems really fun. I don't think the fun really ever stops with that, unless, of course, you have to like do the important financial stuff. But other than that, I think it would be really fun going forward. But we'll do a few more questions before we close out. But what mistakes have you made with your business, and how would you approach them differently today?
I'll start. Not listening to professionals you hire, specifically in accounting and engineering. I'm still engineering, accounting and legal. I'm still paying a tax bill from 2014 because I didn't listen to my CPA, right? And my biggest mistakes have been tax mistakes. So I will say, please, if you do anything, keep track of that. The IRS will come find you, right? They will wait as long as it takes. They will track you down. But make sure your business is legitimate and get in the habit of doing the things that are necessary to make sure that your business stays in compliance, be it legally, be it tax-wise, whatever your industry set, they set it for a reason. And if you hire a professional, specifically in like a business trade, like accounting, listen to their advice. They're not trying to hustle you. They really are doing you a service. So go ahead and get in the habit of listening to those professionals.
I'd say my biggest mistake was sharing my business on social media and whatnot before it was officially a business. I think, thankfully, I was able to secure my business, and I'm still, working on like trademarks and things of that nature. But like, if your business is not secure, then you don't need to be sharing, because it's up for anybody to have. And I'm sure if you believe in your business the way you should, then you think it's a great idea, somebody else might as well. So definitely register your business, do all the legal stuff before you put it out there, and then you'll be good to go.
And for those of us who don't know, how do you go about registering your business and making sure you stay legitimate?
Okay, good question. So for me, I'm not sure the name of the website. If you look it up, it'll come up. But basically, so there's different types. You can do like a sole proprietorship, LLC, limited liability company, which is, I think, the most popular. It's not very expensive at all. It's like $100 to register your business, LLC, and you can do a search to make sure that your name is not taken. And yeah, the process, it may take a couple of weeks for them to confirm, but that is how you would get your business license. If you do a sole proprietorship, it's free. And trademark, that's a whole nother thing. But just to like register your business, it's registering your business means that in your state, like you've secured that name and that business. So yeah, it's not a very difficult process. Anybody can do it. So that's how you'd look up. Oh, sorry.
I'll add to that too. Just wherever state you're in, the Secretary of State office. So for Georgia, it's the Georgia Secretary of State. That's where you go for all of that. Your social security number is your sole proprietorship, but you don't want to go around using your social. So you may want to switch to getting EIN, but just go to the Secretary of State department in whatever state you're in, and you'll see business licenses, all that good stuff. You also can have a CPA do that for you as well.
Thank you, Ms. Howard.
Okay.
Yeah, no, for real. Thank you. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you can go ahead because yours. I think you're. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I didn't really have anything to say. I was just saying thank you, because I think you can get in a lot of trouble with that. I think when I first started DJing, I looked up DJ Sledge on social media and stuff out of curiosity, and I don't know how many DJ Sledges I actually found. So I was like, oh, okay, let me let me get on this. But Chance, you can go ahead. Sorry.
Very good. I think. I don't know why I'm having a hard time trying to figure out stuff, but like I think the biggest mistake I did, at least for myself, was like not starting sooner. I could have made more money than like last year, and I still could be making money. You know, like I definitely I know last year for myself, the whole period between I think it was like the entire fall, I didn't. People would ask me to take photos for them and would offer to pay and everything, but I'd always deny it just because I didn't feel comfortable doing that yet. And I would always, I did like test shots, I guess. And so I had the school's camera and people signed up for me to take portraits of them like on Sundays every weekend. And I did that like repetitively. And that's how like a lot of the photos behind me got taken. But during that time, I really could have been making my money, you know, rather than just, you know, oh Jesus, I don't even know what I'm saying. But yeah, I could have been making my money, could have just jumped right in and just gotten started rather than, you know, like taking more time. And I mean, it did help in some senses because I did get more comfortable with what I was doing and the interaction, everything when it came down to it. But starting sooner than later is definitely worthwhile in the long term, in the grand scheme of things.
I also definitely relate to what Chance is saying because early out for me, I didn't really feel like my skill set was really developed enough for this to be a business where I'm taking money for this service I'm providing. So I would just kind of say, I'll pass on that one. I'll keep doing my own private thing in my little corner, just trying to build myself up. But that's also something I learned doing this business is kind of the worth of my skill set and my time that I can, what I provide is actually something of value to someone. And that is one of the most difficult things for me. And then another mistake that I made was not networking enough. So I feel like I could have made a lot more connections. I've been at Mercer for 3 years? Time flew by, but I know I met a lot of people. I definitely could have networked with them because a lot of times people don't even know that they could use your service. So they'll go, oh, shoot. Yeah, I could use a video to promote this organization, or I could use photography or a newsletter or something like that. And it's not learning to be comfortable networking and not feeling like you're just on an objective hunting for money is something I had to learn to be comfortable with too.
I guess that like initial step to take it from like a hobby to like a business can be a little bit scary because how do you know if you're experienced or like, good enough to perform or actually give out a good service? I think wait, what was the question? Oh, sorry. I think for me, one of my bigger mistakes was really not making a name for myself, and also waiting, because like I said, I think I waited probably 2 years before I actually started to make contributions to DJ Sledge. It had always been like a thought in my mind, like my freshman and sophomore year. And I feel like I definitely could have probably saved up. I could have definitely been actively saving up money during those first couple of years to get my equipment, rather than just thinking about it. So I would definitely say, like, start as early as you can, and also learn how to network. That's really useful. Definitely social media is one of your biggest tools and your best friends, but it can also be your worst enemy if you don't have your business registered because you can get hacked. People can take your information. So definitely make sure you're doing everything that you can. But I actually had another question kind of related to this. So when you first got started out, and when you actually called yourself like a business, or I guess when you actually started, trying to network with people, what did your like friends and your close associates think about it, and did they support you?
My friends and associates supported me significantly. They all couldn't buy from me. I mean, my service was really unique. It wasn't something that, my close friends could purchase from me, but they've always supported me. But every vendor that I had done business with in my career prior to that could do business with me did. And so in those early, because it took 6 months really from really day one to where I had enough clients and income where I really felt like I'm okay. But those first few months, those other vendors that I had done business with for other companies really helped me make it. And so really, I can't stress enough, you all are really right when you say network. My network was all I had in the beginning. And I spent that first day just making phone calls, calling everybody I had done business with, letting them know, hey, I don't have a job. I'm starting consulting on my own. This is what I'm providing. If anything comes across your desk, comes your way, think of me. And pretty much everyone I called that day came through at some point in time. So leveraging your network immediately is critical.
I must say for myself, in the same, my friends are really supportive as well when it came down to everything. However, there were some moments where, like, I'll just give an example. So, like, I'd be like, yeah, I take pictures of everything. They'd be like, oh, can we get like a little discount? Because, we're friends, all that stuff. It's just like, no, I feel like if you're gonna actively support in the way that I put it out, that's paying full price, doing whatever you need to do, like to get to that point, if you're gonna do that. So there was like a little bumping heads when it came to that initially, but since then it's been pretty clean as far as support, whether it's just like as little as just like resharing a picture that I post, or telling somebody else about it in conversation. But yeah, altogether, nonetheless, they've been supportive. I haven't really had major issues with that. So.
I agree. My family and friends have been very supportive. Like Chance said, even just resharing social media, telling, sharing with other people or commenting, all of those things are important. I'm still working on getting my first like product release and everything. But people are telling me, I'm ready as soon as it drops. So we'll see, on the action part of, purchasing and things. But so far, yes, like in terms of just like support, mental, emotional, and just resharing on social media, yes, everyone has been very supportive.
For me as well, my friends have been really supportive. They've coaxed me on during the beginning of me just making little YouTube videos. They've gone, oh, hey, let's do that, let's do this. They've helped me film some things, give me ideas. We bounce things back and forth. They'd be just shouting my names out, just going, "Hey, have you heard of this guy doing videography and stuff?" So they were really there to motivate me through this little idea I had, and really help build myself up to be comfortable and confident in what I did.
And yeah, I think for me, my friends from high school actually were some of my biggest supporters because I think the first event I did was even on Mercer's campus. It was at UGA because one of my friends randomly decided he wanted to have a party, and I was like, "Hey." I would think I was maybe like 2 or 3 months into it. I was very much inexperienced, and I also didn't get paid for this. I got paid in exposure, but I drove all the way to UGA for that event and DJed for like a few hours for like a little apartment party. And I think I remember everybody left by like 11 o'clock to go to downtown Athens as expected. But it definitely built up my confidence having that first little like party to go to where I'm actually like, DJing in front of people rather than just DJing in my living room. But yes, networking is definitely everything. So it's currently, I have 8:14. So we can do like 2 more questions. Is that okay with you guys? Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay. So this is a good question. At any point in your entrepreneurship experience, have you encountered a time where you question your career path, and what helped you get out of that mindset and to continue to persevere?
Okay, so I'll go first with this one. So I feel like my doubts happened before I actually started my business. So I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, I can do this. So I'm a sophomore. So like all throughout my freshman year, my major is entrepreneurship. And I just noticed like when telling people, people ask you, what's your major, whatever, the response was just very like, you can tell when people are like, okay, like this, you probably should do something else, this and that. And that really caused me to think, can I like really do this? And just have like self-doubt. But my confidence definitely grew. I think I just had to come to the point where I realized that, everybody has a different path in life, and you really do have to be confident in like yourself and what you think your purpose is and what you want to do. And also know that I want to have a career that, supports me financially, but that I also have a passion in. Like, I don't want to just be existing and working a job. So that has helped me gain confidence, and also just realizing that other people, when they may not seem as supportive, it's not really that they think that what's best for you is something else. So I think just realizing that everyone's different, everybody has a different journey, has helped me to gain my confidence a lot. But definitely before I started because I started my business like a few months ago, so this summer, and I definitely had to build my confidence to where I felt like I can be successful, doing entrepreneurship. And yeah, so.
I've been an oddly focused person since I was, a teenager, which has helped. I've noticed that I never questioned my career path. I've questioned kind of the ebbs and flows of it, but I've always been real solid about the career path I've chosen. But focusing on what you're trying to accomplish really helps steady that. And it's kind of like if you're still all over the place and you focus on the task, right? I'm gonna get something to eat, right? Instantly, you just shift your mindset. So whenever I started having doubt, I would just focus on what was my overarching goal? Why did I start this journey? What is the end I envision? And I just tunnel vision and focus on that one step at a time. You're going to have bad days. I mean, every day is not perfect. It's a hard road being an entrepreneur. Everyone can't do it. Everyone won't do it. And there are more difficult days than positive ones, but just stay focused. Don't beat yourself up. I have to get better about extending myself the grace I extend to others, and just being patient.
Okay, so you make me. Hold on. My friend was trying to FaceTime me. Ooh, he called at the wrong time. And then he goes again. Stop. I'm sorry. I
Now you're fine.
think I'll stop now because I put my computer on do not disturb. That's my bad. But I was gonna say, kind of like piggybacking off of the last thing that was said in regards to like patience. So for me, I'm not necessarily questioning my career path in the sense of like being in the right major or anything like that, but it's just what I want to do by like the end, like my end goal, I guess, essentially. So I know I can do a lot with photography, and I don't necessarily know if I want to continue just doing just photography or if I want to go into more of like a film route or um, do something that's more journalistic that has to do with writing, maybe editorial, things like that. But they all kind of like fit together and go hand in hand with one another. So while I don't necessarily know what I want to do in the grand scheme of things, I'm still taking the time to just go with emotions and go with the flow and using patience to just keep doing what I'm doing because I know like by the end of it I'll be perfectly fine with whatever I'm doing. And I can still do the other things in some aspect, in some capacity, on the side or just like in a minor scale. So for me, I am questioning it, just trying to figure out what I want to do by the end, but I'm fine nonetheless because just working towards there. And I think in the odd way, just not knowing for sure what it is that I want to do keeps me going, just so that I can like keep working to figure that out um, by the end of everything. So I just keep going, and keep working with emotions.
So for me, one of my most difficult times when I was deciding on whether or not I wanted to continue, I was first starting out building out my YouTube channel, and I'd gotten some new equipment. It was a microphone, my first little microphone. Didn't know they were expensive, but I found that out, and I was trying to do a certain type of video where I had three of me on screen at the same time, and I'd have one of me. I don't know what I was reviewing, something at Mercer, and I had one that was positive, one that was negative, and one that was kind of all like moderating, I guess, in the middle. And I was up at the science and engineering building at like probably 11:30, and I knew I had to get up at 4 a.m. the next day for physical training for ROTC. And it was getting late. I wasn't able to set anything up for the video to come together like I needed to. And at that point, I realized it was a lot of my time would be spent troubleshooting and not being able to necessarily actually make something out of that time. Even though I'm learning, I'm not like producing any videos, so I'm not in a sense growing. So I got really tunnel visioned on getting view counts, the subscriber count up, and I wasn't really enjoying it. But at the very end, when I got that thing to work, I sang Country Roads, three of me synced up together, and I posted that on YouTube. And I found that love for videography that I had again, just posting something stupid up there that made me laugh, that I had fun making. So that really re-motivated me to keep doing what I like to do. But as far as it being a pure career path for me, I'm not quite sure yet. I have no idea what I want to do in my life at all. We'll see how this 4-year Army thing goes, whether or not I want to continue. I don't even know what my job will be, just that I'm going to be full-time active duty for the next 4 years, hopefully in a branch that I like. Maybe not ordnance trying to explode unexploded bombs. Hopefully something more fun like cyber or being a signal or intelligence officer. But we will definitely see when the time comes whether or not I like the Army and want to continue into a 20-year career or go out and make my own venture out in corporate or my own business.
I think for me, one of the things that's causing me to like question my career path, uh, and I think this is just being like really self-critical. So obviously, like not all of my events go well. Some things I just like overlook or neglect, and also I just can't predict what everybody's tastes are. Um, and I think one of the things that like started to have me kind of like question what I was doing. Actually, it was this year because of COVID-19, the pandemic. Since I can't really DJ for humongous crowds right now, I've kind of had to get a little bit more creative um, with how I guess I advertise and all of that. And I don't think I've fully figured that out just yet. But instead of like looking at it like a negative, I guess the way I persevered was looking at this like another chance to be creative with how I portray myself online and on social media, and I can continue that way. But this kind of goes off what Maurice said. This is one of like the little things that keeps me going. Um, Obviously, people make new music every single day, and when I can access it and buy it and download it and like play with it on my controller, um, it's definitely a lot of fun when you mix two songs together that you didn't gonna mix together that well, or if you somehow accidentally like learn how to scratch. I'm still learning how to do that, but sometimes I'll kind of get it and it'll sound like halfway professional. I'm like, oh, yo, that was good. So it's just like the little things like that that keep me going. And there's a large community on Reddit, Instagram, Facebook of people who, continue DJ and also offer tips and want to see other younger DJs out there. So I think that's what's keeping me going. Did everyone answer this one? I can't remember. Okay, cool. My bad. Okay. And the last question I have on here. So I know we all talked about, the future plans for our business and all of that, but what kind of milestone would you be looking for to indicate that you've like made it for your business?
For me, I don't feel like I work every day. I enjoy what I do. I've worked very hard, over my career to get to a point where I wake up every day and I don't dread Monday because Monday feels the same as Saturday to me, and I want to continue to live my life that way, where I don't dread a specific day of the week, where I am still able to live the lifestyle that I choose, right? That's freedom in that. Everyone's lifestyle they want to set up. That's what we're doing, right? We're working, we're making money to pay for some sort of lifestyle we want to create. So being able to live that lifestyle, a lot of people can't do that. And I've been very fortunate, that the fruits of my labor have led me to be able to say I'm living the life that I've chosen. So just to continue that for as long as I'm living, still be able to live the type of life that I want.
Yeah, so the same for me. If I were to choose to make my business my full-time venture, it would definitely be to be able to sustain myself at the quality of life that I want to live at with that business. And I guess for me, it would also be, I'm kind of thinking retiring and passive income. For me to be able to build something that I can take a step back from and not have to fully drive it full time and have it just function on its own and still be being its business without me driving it. So that's something that would definitely make me say that I've made it.
I agree. I think that when I'm able to like sustain myself and like they said, the lifestyle that I want to live with the income from my business, but also I want to be able to have an impact on other people's lives and be able to say that I like improve someone else's life. So whether that's, you know, me creating jobs and hiring people or teaching, giving like advice or mentorship or you know, whatever that may be, inspiring others. I think that's, I mean, I don't think I'll ever say like I made it, because you can always do more, do better, but I would be very like satisfied with what I've produced. Yeah.
For me, I think the one big thing it would have to be like being recognized for like my work, I guess. Because I think photography in itself, it is a medium of art. It is art, and a lot of people do it. There are a lot of photographers all over, and I think you have to stand out by a lot to be somewhat like disassociated from other photographers, just because it is like such a big field and lots of people are picking up on it, especially the ones that are in like journalism and things like that. And some people literally major in photojournalism. So like, but I just want to be able to be, or I think I know I've made it. I know I will know that I've made it once I'm recognized more. And I think like more so recently, I've been recognized for certain things in regards to my work. And of course, it always feels nice. Um, and it pushes me to keep going and to do more and to try bigger things. And I think the more I do that, the higher chances that, you know, that'll happen, of course, just because, like I said, photography is big, especially more so nowadays, just because everyone is doing it. So being able to be recognized for my individual work, just because it's almost like sports, I guess. Like there's the team sports and then individual sports, and I think it's one thing recognizing like the entire football team, and then it's a completely other thing if you're just like a runner and you got the gold medal out of everybody, you know. So just being recognized for my contribution to like the art world, I guess.
And just kind of to jump off of that, I know Chance, I've seen you being featured in a lot of places in at Mercer and in Macon as well. I think you had a picture posted in downtown Macon a minute ago. What exactly was that again?
Yeah, so that was actually, wait, I think it's a little wall. Maybe it's not. Yeah, it's not. Anyway, but I took a photo one time when I was downtown with some of my friends, and really out of random over the summer, I found that Newtown Macon and Dashboard, which is like a art studio that's in Atlanta, was doing like a combination exhibition, and they were taking submissions for like placements in the exhibition. And so I saw it just on like out of random, literally, I think it was on Instagram, and I was just scrolling and it came up in my feed. And I was like, YOLO, because some money was involved. And I said, I need some money. And so I submitted a photo, and it essentially, it's called Bright City Macon. And it's basically just like showing that, you know, as it says, that Macon is like a bright city. And so I submitted a bunch of photos that I had taken within Macon. And honestly, it was very, very surreal when I found out, and it was unexpected just because I forgot about it when I like submitted my photo. And then one day I just happened to check my email, and it had been like weeks later after I submitted it. And I checked my, what is it called? My junk mail. And they had sent me an email saying that I got it. And it was like the day before. I think I had to submit something back. So I was just like, ooh, yikes. And so I did it real quick. And so now one of my photos is like literally on the side of the Rickery. And it's like not one of these little like 4x6. I don't even know what the scale is, but it's pretty big. And it illuminates up. It's like the size of like a movie poster if you were to go to like a movie. So it's pretty cool. And I think that was like the biggest thing that I've ever had happen to me in regards to my photos. And it's very different from just like, you know, a little boost, like a comment. But people that I don't even know, I still don't know, I've never met them in person, thought that one of my photos was cool enough to be in Macon for a year. So it just says, it goes to what I was saying earlier, like I'm just gonna keep working to do more, and also like not tie myself down because that photo was taken at random, literally just one day at Macon. So if I keep on working, I can do much more. So that was pretty crazy, if I'm being honest, that it happened, and that was just the summer. It's there right now, and it'll be there for like the rest of this year. It's for a full year, but yeah.
No, that's still like a major achievement. Don't be humble. That's great.
Thank you.
Because I think I've seen basically everybody who goes by that picture will always like tag you on Instagram every single time they go downtown. So it's always nice to see. I think for me, I don't know. I have like mixed definitions on like how to make it because I know with a lot of DJs specifically, their goal is to one be financially supported by their side hustle, and to be able to do that as a DJ, you kind of need to have like some sort of consistency with your schedule, and one of the ways to do that seems pretty well to or seems pretty doable is to become a resident DJ at a local club or somewhere in your area. And I had the opportunity to DJ at late night earlier this year, like back in February. And that was a lot of fun because for one thing, I learned that my equipment is like terrible. They have like all new speakers and everything. And I'm like, ooh, okay. So I see where like money goes. um, and while it was really cool, I was, you know, my thought in mind was like before I leave undergrad, at least DJ once at one of these clubs downtown because, you know, that would be cool. And then after I did it, I was like, okay, so what's next? So I think from there, like having that experience, you know, only allows you to like grow larger and larger because like Chance, you said, you kind of just, you know, randomly took that photo and you won the contest. I think that's not really like a stopping point because you could be like, oh yeah, cool. I'm featured downtown Macon. That's great. I think it's, you know, almost like a jumping off point for what you can do in the future. But I guess to specifically give an answer, one of the things I really wanted to do is integrate like my computer science knowledge and also my DJ knowledge together. And also kind of serve as an inspiration for younger Black students who want to pursue STEM degrees, because I feel like a lot of people don't really want to do that because they think it's hard or no one in their family really pursues STEM. But I'd like to kind of show that you can pursue a STEM degree and also you can still have your side hustle and still do great things in your community. Because being DJ is really fun, and I didn't realize that I kind of inspire a lot of people. Even when I think I'm doing bad, people come up to me and say, yo, that was really good. Do you have a business card? Do you have this? I'm like, first of all, I need to get business cards, but it's always really, it's really good to hear that. So I think that, I don't know, once I can establish some sort of like platform to be able to contribute towards both at the same time, then I think that'll be a really good milestone. That is our last question. We are just over an hour. I'd like to thank all of our panelists for coming today. There's lots of useful information, useful insight, and you know, it's always good to hear from experienced professionals. You guys are experienced professionals. Don't let anybody tell you different. And to kind of get back to Signal Week a little bit, because I'm sorry, I have to do this. Shameless plug. Tomorrow's events, we are doing a virtual open mic poetry jam with Point Blank. It'll actually be the same same platform as we did today. We'll host a Zoom call and live stream it to Facebook or YouTube. Thursday, we're going to volunteer at Daybreak to serve breakfast in the morning. Daybreak is a homeless shelter in Macon, and I'm really excited to work with them. Friday, we're having an Among Us game night. For all those who like to play Among Us, we're gonna do a little game night for y'all. And Saturday, I'm actually looking forward to this event a lot. We are working with the Mercer NAACP for what we call the first annual Taste of Black-owned Macon and Mercer. We have invited a few Black-owned businesses from the Macon community and also some student businesses from on campus to come together for almost like a farmer's market style collaborative events. So this would be a really good chance to get to know some of the lesser known businesses you probably didn't hear about. Because like we established, everybody needs to network, and you might not know how to network. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be at Centenary Baptist Church's parking lot from 12 to 3 p.m. on Saturday. And the only other thing that's going on right now that is live is we are doing a raffle with Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Delta Epsilon Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and Sigma Sigma Rho Sorority Incorporated to raise money for the Macon Food Bank. So if you care to donate and raffle, I believe I actually forgot the top prize. I feel like it is a kind of like a self-care gift basket with things from Bed Bath & Beyond and all that good stuff. I'll confirm that later. But if you would like to donate, our Cash App is Mercer_Sigmas. And more information will be posted on our Instagram this week. So to all of the people who tuned into our stream, I'd like to thank everybody. To our panelists, one more time, I'd like to thank you all for coming and have a good rest of your night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now I gotta figure out how to end this. All right, so I'm gonna stop the recording first. Okay, now it's being recorded to MP4, and then okay, so once I'm on YouTube, so I'm live streaming on YouTube right now. This is actually a good question. I'm definitely gonna have to cut this out later. How do I do this? I was shooting for an hour and a half. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll end it on